Episode 11 now of the Daily Dozen. Cruising right along. While we cruise right along, we're getting that much closer to the football season, getting pumped up. That's Jason Jewell, Scout.com. I'm Jared Cohen. Normally bring you the recruiting roundup. Right now, we're spotlighting the players to watch in 2014. This is the Daily Dozen. Episode 11, going to start with me right here. Another defensive lineman. Now, the third we're going to mention from Deer Valley. They might have the best defensive line tandem in the state. Marlon Roberts is the third one that we're going to mention. We've already mentioned Marquette Mitchell, who's in the inside. Brian Calhoun, the talented player on the outside, has offers from ASU and other Pac-12 schools. But Marlon Roberts, 6'3", 240. This Deer Valley defensive line is a force and one of the biggest strengths on a team that looks to have a big year this year.
I'm staying on the west side, looking at a running back that, surprisingly, no one's really talking about. Jet Robertson Ironwood has rushed for 1,000 yards each of the last 2 seasons and done a great job for the Eagles. And basically their offense goes where Robertson is going to take them. I expect another 1,000-yard season out of Robertson. An
interesting thing about this 2015 class is we're looking at a lot of 3-year starters. We've mentioned Caleb Pert. Garrett Rand is another player that's going to be coming up on this list very soon. And another player that we're going to mention is Andrew Rodriguez out at Marcos Deniza. Taylor Powell, another 3-year starter coming into this year. But Andrew Rodriguez at Marcos Deniza is an interesting story. He has led the team in tackles 2 straight years as a sophomore and as a junior. After the coaching change at Marcos Deniza, a lot of players transferred out. Andrew Rodriguez stayed and is going to be one of the biggest impact players and leaders for Marcos this season.
We know Rhett Rodriguez down at U of A loves his quarterbacks. Well, it just happens that his son is a very good one. Rhett started for Catalina Foothills last season as a freshman and did very, very well. He threw 12 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, so we can see that his dad has done the right thing and tutored him, and obviously with his skills. Expect another good season for Rodriguez down at Catalina Foothills. Jeff Skurin has turned that program around down in Tucson.
Donovan Rooks is the third player we're going to mention from the defending state champion Yuma Catholic Shamrocks. We've already mentioned Matt Pistone, quarterback Jagan Cleary. Donovan Rooks is the third player, and he's also one of the most dynamic players on the team. A wide receiver coming off a great year. Man, does Cleary have some great weapons to throw to between him and Pistone on the outside.
I love the players that are versatile, that can do everything. And I get another one, Q Rose at Pinnacle, a star wide receiver and a lockdown corner on defense. Last year, he only had a limited number of catches. I think it was 12, but he had 8 touchdowns in those limited catches, which is ridiculous. And then on defense, again, he's a lockdown cornerback, a guy that can do everything. Pinnacle has a very, very good football team that expects to contend for that Division I state title, and Q Rose is one of the leaders of that team.
I'm going to mention the first kicker for the Daily Dozen. It took a little bit too long because we're at episode 11, but Blake Ruiz out at Williams Field is arguably one of the best kickers in the state this season. Why? He can nail it from 50 plus. That is as good and as lethal of a weapon as a team can have at the high school football level. A very talented kicker out of Williamsfield. They're a team that likes to run the ball, to really battle it out in the trenches, and if they got a guy that can kick it from 50 plus, it makes them that much more dangerous on the offensive side of the ball.
New Chaparral head coach Conrad Hamilton had a very successful career in the NFL as a defensive back, so he has done a great job over the years as a defensive coordinator in tutoring those guys in the secondary. He has another one in junior Kurt Schugert. Had 4 interceptions last year and was an all-section performer and is going to be asked to be a leader because Chaparral lost many players. If Chaparral plans on making it back to that Division II state title game, players like Schugert are going to have to step up.
We've mentioned quite a few small school players. Thatcher has had a few on their list, and they have another one right now in Jeff Shumway, their tight end. Very talented player, a good blocking tight end, but can also get out into space and make some plays. Had 510 yards and 8 touchdowns, so it shows Thatcher likes to get the ball to their big fella in the red zone to try to get on the board. Thatcher has a lot of players, as mentioned, on this list and should be a threat of the small schools in the upcoming season.
Last year at Chaparral High School, Trevor Wood was really the guy that everyone talked about as the tight end, but there's a young sophomore last year, Christian Skeptaris, who was waiting in the wings, who actually got to play a lot because Chaparral would flex Trevor Wood out more of as a wide receiver, but Skeptaris played inside, and he is more of your true tight end, is willing to block. He doesn't have quite the size that Wood had, but he's only going to be a junior. Made all section last year, and I expect great progress from Skeptaris this junior season.
Elijah Smith, a third consecutive tight end that we're going to mention right now here on episode 11. This kid is long. Now, I came up through Arizona high school playing basketball, and Prescott always had these tall, long, lengthy guys that were really skilled and talented, and this is just another one of those that the Badgers has on the football field this season. He's 6'4", about 215, 220, more known for being a blocking tight end because he's so long and strong, but he can also make plays on the outside as well. A very big threat and an important piece for the Prescott Badgers this season.
Horizon quarterback Dalton Snea had a breakout season last year as a junior, accounted for over 4,000 yards of offense and over 40 touchdowns. Had a great season. Already has committed to UNLV, and Horizon has the pieces in place to make a run at the Division I state title game, and Snea is the leader of that team.
That's it for Daily Dozen episode 11. We still have a few more, so continue to stick with us here on Sports360AZ.com.